Good evening. We are back at Joe Spikes Field in Lamesa. It's game 2 of this best-of-3 area playoff matchup between the Fillies and the Stanton Lady Buffaloes. The Fillies trying to punch their ticket to the regional quarterfinals and head home with another Gold Glove trophy. Stanton is looking to extend its season and force a third decisive game later tonight. I'm Nathan Riojas here with the Shallow Water Sports Network crew. The other half of our crew making their way back to Shallow Water right now. Jake Warren, Angel Flores, covering the boys' game in Bushland. They win game 2 and win that series. They won 13-0 last night. They win 10-0 this afternoon against Dalhart. So they advance to the regional, not to the regional quarterfinal. They advance to the area round of the playoffs, and they'll take on the winner of Stanton or Lamesa. So in Lamesa, the Fillies and the Stanton Lady Buffs played game number 1 last night. The Fillies take that one 7-4. These two teams traded runs in the first inning, and then they traded crooked numbers in the second. Stanton, who was the visiting team last night, got 3 runs in the top of the second. The Fillies did a good job all night of answering those Stanton runs, and they got a crooked number of their own in the bottom of the second. They put up 4 in the bottom of the second and take a 5-4 lead heading into the third inning. That one courtesy of Jaden Luna there. She had the big hit in the second inning, a 3-run homer with 2 outs. Put a 4 spot on the board for the Fillies, and again, they took a 5-4 lead into the third inning. They were scoreless in the third, and Shallow Water got 2 more in the fourth. That courtesy of a 2-out RBI single from Phoenix Navajar there in the bottom of the fourth. And that was the difference in the game. The Fillies got some big hits with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, and Emma Davis did a good job in the circle of squelching some Stanton opportunities when they had runners in scoring position. She got some big outs with 2 outs, and she allowed 4 runs. Only one of them earned, scattered 6 hits over her 7 innings pitched, walked 3, struck out 2 on 158 pitches. Emma Davis did, but put up zeros in the last 5 innings, gave up 4 runs over the first 2 innings, zeros the rest of the way, and that was the difference last night. Jaden Luna was 2 for 4, again with that home run, 3 RBIs, and came in to score 2 runs. Emma Davis, great night in the circle, probably the difference for the Fillies last night, but she was also 4 for 4 at the plate. She doubled and had an RBI. Phoenix Navajar, I mentioned her, 2-out RBI single that brought in 2 in the bottom of the fourth. She was 2 for 4 with those 2 RBIs and a double. Cambry Baker, 1 for 3. She scored a run. Des Johnson, 1 for 3. And Gabby Caro, 1 for 2, a walk, and she came in to score 2 runs. On the other side for Stanton, not a bad pitching performance for the Lady Buffs. Liliana Rodriguez pitched 6 innings. She gave up 12 hits, 7 runs, but only 3 of those runs were earned, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. She threw 180 pitches in that game. Let's see. Zoe Aguirre was 1 for 2 with an RBI and 2 walks. Mariah Williams, second baseman, was 1 for 4. Abby Campos, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Allie Glover, 1 for 3 and scored a run. But really the best offensive performance of the night for the Lady Buffs, Ari Vasquez. She was 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and scored a run. But again, Emma did a good job of scattering those hits and the Fillies limiting their mistakes. They did commit 2 errors early on that helped Stanton get on the board. But just 1 earned run from Emma Davis. And we were worried about the weather leaving here last night and then driving up here today, worried if we might see some weather that would delay or affect this game in some way. So far, so good. Looking at the radar, it looks like there were some pretty mean storms around Big Spring and Snyder as we were leaving the Lubbock area. You can still see some storms off to the east. Right now, it's not as hot as it was yesterday, but it's pretty muggy. It feels warmer almost. It's about 80 degrees, almost 10 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. The wind, when we got here, was blowing from right to left across your screen. It was blowing from the right field line kind of out towards the left field foul pole. Now when you look at the flag and we have that window open here in the press box, the wind now is blowing out of the east. So the wind blowing in, I feel like we're getting some outflow as maybe a storm that was just east of here collapsing, because you can see the dirt in the field out to the east too, kicking up. So I feel like there's nothing coming in from that direction, but maybe a little storm collapsing over there. So hopefully we will get game number 2 in as scheduled, and the Phillies hoping that there is no game number 3. They won 7-4 last night. They can clinch this area round playoff series with the win here in game 2. If Stanton wins, we'll play game number 3 at approximately 7 o'clock here in Lamesa. The story for game number 2, because one of the things I mentioned in the pregame last night was pitching. You know, Emma Davis and Camry Baker have done most of the pitching for the Phillies this year. And I saw in that bi-district playoff series for Stanton, they had 5 different pitchers, in those 3 games. So I wondered, what would we see today? Well, starting pitchers and the starting lineup is going to be almost exactly the same for both of these teams. Only difference for the Phillies, Camry Baker is going to move from the 7-hole to the 6-hole. Kaylee Olivo goes from 6 to 7, so just a little adjustment for Coach Kayla Rodriguez and the Phillies there in their batting order. But defensively, everyone the same, including Emma Davis, who will start in the circle for the Phillies tonight. Again, she did throw 158 pitches last night, so hopefully she's still got enough in the tank to get through game number 2. Stanton is going to do the same thing. Liliana Rodriguez, she pitched 180 or threw 180 pitches last night in her 6 innings. She will be starting in the circle for Stanton. But like I said, I noticed 5 different pitchers of record in that bi-district series against Muleshoe. So we might see a couple of pitchers in the circle for the Phillies, a few maybe on the Stanton side. The Phillies won the toss yesterday. They were the home team in game number 1. They'll flip the script today for game number 2, and Stanton will be the home team. They'll be in the field right now. Phillies coming up to bat. They were both wearing red uniforms today, and maybe they coordinated today. The Phillies in their white uniforms, Stanton back in their red uniforms. And again, you can see the wind is kicked up out of the east and is blowing into the face of these players as they look at the flag out in right field for the national anthem. The teams have been introduced. We have honored America with the playing of the national anthem, and we are ready to play ball here. Game number 2 of this area round playoff series between Stanton and Shallowater. Again, the wind just picking up out of the east, now a little southeast, a little bit more right to left action as you look at it on your TV screen, but it is kicking up. Beautiful facility here in Lamesa. As we talked about yesterday, they do have some trees out beyond the outfield fence. It is deeper out in left field, and maybe the wind hurting today. The wind's going to be blowing the ball back into the ballpark. And now it's almost shifting from blowing straight out of the east to blowing out of the southeast, so it's got a little bit more of a right to left feel. But beautiful facility here, Joe Spikes Field, both their softball facility and baseball facility right across the way. Nice place. It was a beautiful night last night. We left here. It was perfect in Lamesa. Now the wind kicking up, but as long as we don't get any storms in the area, I think we'll deal with a little bit of wind for sure. Nothing that these girls aren't used to playing in West Texas. to the city of Lamesa. Like, this stadium sits kind of on the northeast corner of Lamesa. So if the wind's blowing out of the west, I don't think you have to worry about the dirt much. But coming out of the east, we might. There is a barren cotton field over there. So maybe if the wind gets too crazy, we might have to deal with some dust. But ready to go, Brindley Currington steps in the box. She was 1 for 4 for the Fillies yesterday in game number 1. She will lead off. And again, Liliana Rodriguez, who threw 180 pitches in 6 innings of work last night, back in the circle for Stanton. Whichever one of these starting pitchers in this game can last the longest might be a big issue. This one popped up in foul territory. Zoe Aguirre gave it a look out there in left field, but the wind was pushing that one foul. May have helped the Fillies in that case, kept it away from Aguirre out in left field. So 1-1 now. The leadoff hitter for the Fillies here in the top of the first. That one elevated for ball 2, so 2-1. That one looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. The Stanton fans feel the same way. Might have been up, but it's 3-1 now for Brindley. That one high for ball 4, so a leadoff walk for Brindley Currington. And now Jaden Luna, who was the hot hand for the Fillies yesterday, 2 for 4, had that 3-run home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored for the center fielder from Shallow Water yesterday, looking to stay hot. She showed bunt. Brindley's on her way to second base, and she is in safe. Shortstop came in to get that. That was not a bad throw, but she was a few steps in front of the bag, so when she caught the ball, Brindley was behind her. Could not apply the tag. And now a runner in scoring position after that stolen base. Phillies were aggressive on the base paths yesterday. Kayla Rodriguez mentioned that to me, that they talked before the game they were going to be aggressive. And as Jaden looks at a strike right there, she said they were going to test, they were going to push the issue, and they tested that outfield, and they had 2 outfield assists through 2 Phillies out at third base. She said, so we found out, now we know. So I'm sure maybe not as aggressive on the base paths here in game number 2. That's one thing about, you know, sports in 3A, the 3A high school level. You just don't know a lot of times, especially teams from other districts, what you're going to see. Not a lot of tape, not like you might see in football or basketball even. So it's 2-2 here on Jaden. Again, coming off of a 2 for 4 performance last night. She swings at strike 3 there. The first out in the first for the Fillies. Liliana got 6 strikeouts yesterday. Emma Davis, she was 4 for 4 with a double and an RBI last night. She steps in with a runner in scoring position. Takes a look at strike number 1 on the outside. Now the wind seems to be blowing more straight in, straight out of right center field. She hits that one right up the middle. Brindley is rounding third, but she's going to be held there. Emma may have hit that one too hard. Back up the middle. Got to center field pretty quickly. Brindley stops at third, but now runners on the corners for Phoenix Navajar. Phoenix had herself a night too, 2 for 4, 2 out, RBI single. To plate 2 crucial runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. She also doubled for her other hit. Phoenix made a big time play out in right center field in Plainview a week ago against Dalhart. Robbed one of their hitters of extra bases. Now an opportunity again in the box. So one away here for Phoenix. Showed bunt. That one got up and back to the screen. Brindley's in trouble at the play, but she got in under the tag. The throw was in time, but she didn't apply the tag. Great call by the home plate umpire. And I know if you're from Stanton, you disagree. Brindley hesitated at third base. She was late coming down the line, and the throw was there. The catcher got it back to Rodriguez, but the tag was not applied. Brindley got under the tag. We had a pretty clean look at it, and so did the umpire. And I think you see on the replay, nice work from Mia Davidson. The camera work, zooming in on home plate. I think that was the right call. So she comes in on the wild pitch, and now a runner at second for Phoenix. That's Mackenzie Rodriguez, who came in to courtesy run for Emma. She advanced on that wild pitch as well. So another miscue from Stanton, costing them early in this game, just like it did in game one. Phillies got 4 unearned runs last night. That one high to make it 2-1. When elevated to make it 3-1. So far, the Phillies have done a pretty good job at not chasing anything outside of the zone. That one right down the middle. She took a little bit off of that one and got it by Phoenix. So now 3-2 with one away. A big moment here for Liliana Rodriguez. Don't want to snowball this. Don't want to get you want to try straight back off the screen. I will say yesterday the sun was a factor. Of course, it was a couple hours later, but it was setting right as we were starting this game, and the people on the right side of the infield and out in right field had a hard time right now. That's not the case. This one popped up left side. The wind will push it into foul territory, and maybe some miscommunication there from third base and shortstop. Allie Glover and Ari Vasquez both kind of looked at each other after that one hit the ground like, I thought you were going to get that one. So we are getting some cloud cover, a little bit shaded right now. That one fouled back. We'll have another 3-2 pitch from Rodriguez. Took a lot off of that one. That was an off-speed pitch. Phoenix was way out in front of it. She just did a good job actually to keep the bat in the zone long enough to make contact. Took a lot off of that pitch. Phoenix fouls it off to stay alive. Another 3-2, and it's in the dirt, or on the turf for ball 4. Phoenix works a walk to now. Runners at first and second for Jordan Medina. Jordan was 0 for 3 last night. Big opportunity here. Jordan's one of 6 seniors on this Philly softball team. Would love to make some key plays tonight to help the Phillies get to the regional quarterfinal round. That one in there for strike 1. One on the way. That one was inside for ball 2. Or ball 1, excuse me. It's 1-1. Getting ahead of myself here. Jordan lays down the bunt. Well executed. It'll advance both runners, and she's going to reach. Perfect bunt laid down by Jordan Medina right in between home plate and the pitcher's circle. The same thing, a catcher and the pitcher almost couldn't decide who was going to field that. It was going to be a tough play either way to get Jordan at first. And now the base is loaded for Cambry Baker, Philly shortstop. Cambry was 1 for 3 last night, came in to score a run. Big opportunity here. And she takes a strike on the outer half. Swing and a miss to make it 0-2. Cambry is the 6th Philly to come to the plate here in the top of the first. A chance to put up a crooked number here in the top of the first. Give Emma Davis some early run support. That one catches the outside corner for strike number 3. So a big out, strikeout number 2 for Liliana Rodriguez. So now Kaylee Olivo, Phillies second baseman with 2 outs. Phillies had some clutch 2-out hits last night in game number 1. Jaden Luna delivered in a similar spot in the second with 2 on and 2 outs. Phoenix Navajara did the same in the 4th, 2 on, 2 outs. Chance for Kaylee here. That one, an off-speed pitch. She took some off of that, and it caught the outer half, so now an 0-2 count. Big moment for Liliana Rodriguez. It's been a rough start, but if she can get out of here just giving up 1, that'd be huge for Stanton, and she does. She strikes out the side. The Phillies get 2 hits, but leave the bases loaded. They do plate 1, so it'll be 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning. We'll step away for just a moment, but we'll be back with more Philly softball here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. Welcome back to Lamesa here. Area round playoff between the Phillies and the Stanton Lady Buffs. Nathan Riojas here with Zach Cole and Mia Davidson, our 2 students, bringing you the sights and sounds from this playoff matchup at Joe Spikes Field. Zach Cole producing for us and Mia Davidson running the camera. Emma Davis has warmed up in the circle. She steps into the circle here in the bottom of the first with a 1-0 lead. The Phillies got 2 hits and played a run, but they left them loaded in the top of the first. They did make Liliana Rodriguez throw a lot of pitches. Emma Davis, who threw 158 herself, but she scattered 6 hits, gave up just 1 earned run last night in a 7-4 win for the Phillies. Gets strike number 1 right there against Paisley Carby. Carby, the center fielder. She was 0 for 3 last night, but walked and scored a run. She scored in the first after a leadoff walk. It's a 1-1 here. She also had one of those outfield assists I was talking about. And a great throw to third base. She fouls that one off. It's now 1-2. And I think it'll be key for both these pitchers to try to keep their pitch count down so they can go as far as they can into this game. Winning team might be the team that gets to the other team's second pitcher in this game. Two and two count now for Carby. Swings at that one and lines it right back at Emma Davis for out number 1. Zoe Aguirre now, left fielder, comes to the plate. Zoe was 1 for 2, had an RBI and walked twice last night. She looks at strike number 1 on the outer half. That one, a chopper to Cambry at short. Cambry to Natalie, and it's up the line. It was inside of first base. Did not go in the dugout. Bounced off the net there. Zoe reaches on error.
Number 3, Williams.
And so now Mariah Williams, second baseman, is at the plate. She's got a runner in scoring position. Paisley Carby's pretty quick, and I wonder if Cambry saw her getting up the baseline and rushed that throw just a little bit. This one chopped to Medina at third. She goes to first. They hold the runner at second base, so now 2 away. Runner still at second base. Good job at Jordan Medina.
Up to that, number 2, Campos.
Now Abby Campos, the cleanup hitter and the catcher for the Stanton team. That one outside, she swung at it. So 0-1 for Campos. Got a runner in scoring position here with 2 outs. Stanton left a few too many on the bases last night to get the win. They lose 7-4, but Emma Davis got some big outs when she needed them with Lady Buffs on the pond. This one fouled straight back to make it 1-2. 1-2, 2 away. Abby was 1 for 3 last night, had an RBI, and she's got an RBI opportunity right here. That one was maybe a little too high. It was right down the middle, but it's 2-2 now. So 2-2-2 on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the first inning. That one elevated, so now full count. That one low and away, so she works a walk.
Now batting number 7, Villa.
Aubrey Villa comes to the plate. Right fielder. Aubrey was 0 for 4 last night. Opportunity to redeem herself here, and this one out of the zone for ball 1. And you probably noticed with the sun coming back out now, all of a sudden the cloud cover is drifted away and the sun coming back out. Wind still blowing mainly out of the southeast. That one fouled away on the right side, lands on top of the first base dugout, but it's blowing like from the right field foul pole to third base maybe. Not straight in anymore, not straight out of the east. More of a southeasterly wind. So another 2-2-2 situation here. This time for Aubrey Villa. Emma Davis trying to get to the second inning. She rolls it to Jordan. Jordan just got to turn around and step on her bag for out number 3. So after 1 here in Lamesa, the Fillies with a 1-0 lead in game number 2 of this best of 3 series will step away. And we'll be back with more Philly softball here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. Welcome back to Joe Spikes Field here in Lamesa. The Phillies and the Lady Buffs from Stanton in game number 2 of their area playoff series. 1-0 right now in favor of the Phillies after one. Both of those pitchers minimizing damage. Phillies left and loaded in the top of the first. And Stanton, no hits and no runs, but one error. They left 2 on base there in the bottom of the first inning. Phillies sent 7 to the plate in the first, so 8-9-1 due here in the second inning. Zaire Johnson will lead off. Dez was 1 for 3 last night in game number 1. Looks at ball number 1, is eye level. The wind is whipping now, and you can almost see that on the exchange between the catcher and the pitcher right there. As Rodriguez didn't get her glove on that. This one fouled off. I think Liliana and Emma both working a little bit slower tonight. They know after both pitching complete games last night that they're going to have to pace themselves to go the distance today. Swing and a miss there to make it 1-2. Desire doubled and walked in the bi-district game against Dalhart. Of course, that one was just a one-game series, or not a series, but a one-game playoff. She was 1 for 3 in that game with a double and a walk. Trying to get the leadoff batter on here for the Phillies, and she swung at one way out of the zone for strike number 3, and strikeout number 4 on the day so far for Rodriguez. She had 6 yesterday, but 4 already in this one. Gabby Caro stepping to the plate. Gabby, another good night. The second leadoff hitter for these Phillies. She was 1 for 2, doubled and scored twice. Or not doubled, walked. 1 for 2, walked and scored twice. She's ahead in the count here, 1-0. That one was right down the middle, but it was high. So a 2-out count now for Gabby. She fouls that one back to the screen. That one was off speed. She took quite a bit off of that one. And Gabby lays off. It's 2-2. And already 4 strikeouts on the day for Rodriguez. And there is strikeout number 5. 2 away now here in the bottom of the or top of the second. So we go back to the top of the order to Brindley Currington. She's come in to score the only run of this game. She had a leadoff walk in the first. She stole second base and then scored on a wild pitch. The throw was in time to get her at home plate on that wild pitch, but she did a good job of getting her hand in underneath the tag to score the only run of this game so far. Bases empty for her here with 2 outs in the second. 1-0 on the way. That one was high for ball 2. 2-0 on the way. Brindley loops this one into the left center field. But Carby's there to haul it in a 1-2-3 inning for Liliana Rodriguez. And they will come back to the plate with the bottom of the order coming to the plate. 6, 7, 8 due for Stanton in the bottom of the second. We'll take a quick break, but we'll be back with more Philly softball here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. Welcome back to Joe Spikes Field here in Lamesa. The Phillies with a 1-0 lead after 1.5 innings of play. 6, 7, 8 due for Stanton here in the bottom of the second. Phillies were the home team last night in game number 1. Stanton the home team here in game number 2. Allie was 1 for 3 last night. Game number 1, she looks at ball 1 there. It must have been low. Allie 1 for 3 and scored a run last night. The Stanton third baseman, she chops that one foul. Jordan gave it a look, but it was in the coach's box. This one grounded to Cambry. Cambry over to Natalie in time for out number 1. 6-3 put out for Glover. And now Ari Vasquez will come to the plate. Ari was the offensive MVP, if you will, for Stanton last night. 2 for 3. She doubled twice and scored a run. She's showing bunt right here, but then comes back to swing, and she pokes it into right field right behind first base. Kaylee actually had a chance. Maybe Natalie came off the bag trying to get a glove on that. Kaylee got over to it pretty quickly. And that's just a tough break for Emma Davis. You can kind of see the frustration on her face. Not a very well hit ball, but it's a line drive in the scorebook, as they say, the old cliche. A single, a bloop single for Ari Vasquez, and now Marissa Vasquez, the 8-hole hitter for Stanton. Marissa was 0 for 2 last night. She's got a 1-0 count here. And now 2-0. Swings at that one up and out of the zone. Fouls it away to make it 2-1. That one on the inside corner for strike 2. Now a 2-2 count for Vasquez. Ari is the shortstop for Stanton. That one was on the turf to make it a full count. That one, a roller to short. Cambry flips it over to Kaylee. She bobbled it at first. Might have been thinking about 2, but she flips it to Kaylee. Marissa Vasquez will reach on fielder's choice.
Up to that, number 14, Omier.
But 2 away now. And they get the leadoff runner. Alyssa Almaguer, the first baseman, looks at strike number 1. This one lifted into left center field, gets over the head of Gabby Caro, and it'll bring in the first run of the night for Stanton. A 2-out double for the 9-hole hitter. And you could tell the wind moved that one quite a bit. Gabby was running into left center field, and that ball tailed back over her head. Either way, I think it was over her head. That one elevated for ball 1. So Marissa Vasquez with 2 outs was running on contact. She scored from first. Alyssa Almaguer at second base now, so big time 2-out hit to tie this game. And now the leadoff hitter, another ground ball to Cambry. Cambry in time to Cuevas. So a pair of hits and a run to tie this game. They leave 1 on in the bottom of the second. We are tied heading to the third. We'll take a quick break, but we'll be back with more Philly softball here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. Welcome back to Lamesa. Nathan Riojas here with Zach Cole and Mia Davidson. Game number 2 in this area playoff series between Shallow Water and Stanton. 2-3-4 coming to the plate for the Phillies to start the third inning. Jaden Luna, the Box used a hot hand yesterday. She struck out in her first at bat here in game number 2. She fouls that one back down in the count 0-1. Stanton got 2 hits and scored a run. Talked about the difference last night was 2-out hitting and Emma Davis making big plays in the circles when Stanton had opportunities. The Phillies making big plays at the plate when they had an opportunity right there. Stanton gets one at the plate with 2 outs. A big double from their 9-hole hitter, Alyssa Almaguer. She has tied this game, and now Jaden with an 0-2 count here. That one elevated for ball 1. Two on the way, and another strikeout. That's strikeout number 6 now for Liliana Rodriguez, who had 6 strikeouts last night in game 1. She struck out the side in the first, got 2 strikeouts in the second, and now strikeout number 6 right there. Emma Davis now, who singled in her first at bat in the box. She was 4 for 4 last night. She's ahead in the count here, 1-0. This one fouled back to make it a 1-1 count. That one out of the strike zone for ball 2. It was high. So 2-1 on the way, and it was well inside. Emma had to step out of the way. (3-1) now on the way for Davis, and it's a walk. One out walk for Emma Davis, and now Phoenix Navahar, who walked in her first plate appearance, comes up to the plate. Phoenix was 2 for 4 last night. Doubled and drove in 2. Mackenzie Rodriguez will courtesy run. Cool moment here at the plate as Emma Davis is giving a little advice, a little pep talk to Phoenix Navahar. So Mackenzie Rodriguez now at first base with 1 out. Phoenix showed bunt, pulled back and takes strike number 1. That one right down the middle. I guess that was high. That didn't look bad. It's a 1-1. I'm going to be honest, I don't know where that one missed. That one fouled back. Sometimes it's fun if I can catch the outfield camera when we have one, because you get a better look at the strike zone that way. But a split crew. Jake Warren and Angel Flores were with Tony Jackson and David Blackburn in Bushland this afternoon for the boys game number 2. And they're by-district round. That one down the line, but it's foul. Phoenix poked one into right field. It went just foul, so 1-2. Thought the wind might help her out. It looked like it was going to, kind of hang up long enough and land in foul territory, but 1-2. That one elevated to make it 2-2. Phoenix fouls that one back. So we'll have another 2-2 offering from Rodriguez. Big effort from both of these pitchers, Emma Davis and Liliana Rodriguez. They both threw a lot of pitches today, and they're back in the circle this afternoon, or they threw a bunch of pitches yesterday. That is strikeout number 7 on the day for Liliana Rodriguez as she gets Phoenix Navahar. And now Jordan Medina, who singled in her first plate appearance, she laid down a perfect bunt between home plate and the pitcher's mound. She looks at ball 1. Mackenzie Rodriguez dancing off of first base. She got a pretty good look from Abby Campos that time, but gets back to first, and now the 1-0 for Jordan. She swings at that one, hits it right back up the middle. Rodriguez snags it and has plenty of time to get the out. So the Phillies get a walk, but strand 1. So we will head to the bottom of the 3rd, tied at 1. We'll be back with more Phillies softball right after this here on the Childwater Sports Network. Welcome back to Lamesa. It's game number 2 of this area round series between the Fillies and the Lady Buffs from Stanton. 1-1 after 2.5 innings played. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-3-4 due up for Stanton. Zoe Aguirre will lead off. She reached on error. Her first plate appearance.
Up to that, number 5, Aguirre.
Zoe, big swing and a miss there for strike 1. Emma, we've seen her in different times in the year, but 10 plus strikeouts, 7, 8, 10, 12, and just 2 yesterday. Looking for her first strikeout here tonight, but she's got an 0-2 count on Aguirre. This one hit off the right side. It goes off the glove of Natalie Cuevas. She reaches on air again.
Now batting, number 3, Williams.
It's the leadoff runner on. Second time that she's reached on error. E6, first time E3 this time. And now Mariah Williams, the second baseman, comes to the plate. She grounded out to Jordan Medina at 3rd. In her first plate appearance, she was showing bunt, then takes a hack at it, fouled it off the right side. On the way for Mariah, and it's 1-1 now. So far so good here in Lamesa. We were worried about the weather and getting this game in, but the sun is back out. Storms all to the east of here. 1-2 now after that swing and a miss. Another opportunity for K number 1 for Emma. That one popped up in the air. Emma will have a chance. It may go foul, and it does. What a nice heads-up play from Emma Davis. From where we're at, right behind the home plate, you could see her telling Brindley not to touch it, and as soon as that hit the turf, it bounced foul. So a heads-up play, because I don't know if Brindley or Emma would have had a play at first base there, so they just let that one bounce foul. Nice heads-up play from Emma Davis. She was letting her catcher know, don't touch it, because neither one of them can get to it. And again, the wind blowing in from that right field line, or from the right field corner, kind of blowing across the field. This one, a grounder to Cambry. Dug nicely there by Natalie Cuevas. Umpire hesitated, but goes with the out call. So one away here as Abby Campos comes to the plate. She walked in her first plate appearance, but was stranded in the first. And Stanton left 2 on in the first. This one popped up in the air, drifting towards left center field. Gabby Carl was there, but it gets to the ground. They're going to try to score a run. And sliding in to third base, Abby Campos has an RBI. RBI triple, and the wind is affecting those balls out in the outfield a lot. It looked like Jaden Luna had a beat on that the whole way, and the wind just kept pushing it away from her towards left field. Gabby tried to catch it right off the ground. RBI for Abby Campos. Aguirre comes around from first to score to make it 2-1. Just one away here for Aubrey Villa. She looks at ball 1. Aubrey, the 5-hole hitter for Stanton. Slaps that one foul to make it 1-1. So right now, Stanton taking advantage of some Philly miscues. They have taken a 2-1 lead here in the third. She reached out and got that one. Aubrey did. He got a piece of it and fouled it off to stay alive. The 1-2 on the way from Emma. Outside, she reached out, poked it to the right side. That one stays in foul territory. So another 1-2 pitch on the way, but she's hanging, making Emma work here. Runner at third with less than 1 out. It's Abby Campos, who tripled into left center field. That time Aubrey lays off of it. She chased a few of those outside, one high and outside, one low and away. She fouled both of them off. That one she lays off to make it 2-2. Emma comes right back in and jams her. Jordan holds the runner, goes to first. Natalie comes off the bag, and the run will score. So Campos comes in for run number 2 in this inning 3 of the game. And Villa reaches on another error. Aubrey Villa on the error. That throw just too far towards home plate. Natalie had to come off the bag to get it. She tried to stretch. Jordan did a good job. She held the runner as long as she could, made a tough throw, but maybe distracted by Campos at third. And another error. Third one of the game now for the Phillies. And still just one away. Villa at first, and now Allie Glover at the plate. Allie was 1 for 3 and scored a run yesterday. She grounded out to shortstop in her first at bat here today. She flies this one into left center field. It's tailing over towards Gabby. Gabby at the track, pulls it in for out number 2. So she tracked that one. They're kind of getting a feel for it out in the outfield as that wind is pushing it a long ways. So 2 away for Ari Vasquez. Ari singled in her first at bat. She was 2 for 3 last night. Looks at strike number 1 there. One and one count now for Ari Vasquez. And that one was high for ball 2. Left field is pretty deep here. It's a lot deeper than it is in right field. And Gabby Caro is playing really deep. She caught that ball right at the fence. She was on the warning track for out number 2, and she has stayed out there. Desire Johnson also playing out near the warning track in right field. This one cued to short. Cambry goes to first, and a 6-3 put out. So 2 more on the board after a big triple from Abby Campos. They strand 1, but now it's 3-1 in favor of Stanton as we head to the top of the 4th inning. We'll be back with more Philly softball right after this here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. 2 runs come across there in the bottom of the 3rd inning for Stanton. They got 2 runs on 1 hit, 2 errors. They did leave a runner on base. And now a 3-1 lead for Liliana Rodriguez, who has struck out 7 Phillies through 3 innings of work. Now in the top of the 4th, Cambry Baker swings. She struck out in her first plate appearance back in the 1st inning. 6, 7, 8 coming to the plate for the Phillies here in the 4th. Cambry swings at another one that was high. Phillies sent 7 batters to the plate in the 1st inning, but 2 quick innings, 2 stress-free innings for Rodriguez since then. Phillies got to try to make her work. She threw 180 pitches in 6 innings last night. This one lifted into the air. Anything that high is going to be trouble. Second baseman gets under it, and it's out number 1. Anything that gets that high up in the air is moving a lot. So a tough play, a good play out there for second baseman Mariah Williams. And now Kaylee Olivo comes to the plate. She also struck out in the 1st inning. Swings at that one. That was in on the handle. 1 pitch, 1 out. Out number 2. Here in the top of the 4th inning.
Now batting number 17, Johnson.
And Desire Johnson comes to the plate. She struck out to lead off the 2nd inning. Now comes up with 2 away. This one popped up behind the circle, and I don't know, those last 2 at-bats were 2 pitches. I don't know how many pitches she threw in that inning, but it was a quick 1, 2, 3 inning. 3 pop-ups on the infield for the Phillies. That's all they had there in the 4th, and we will go to the bottom of the 4th with Stanton leading 3-1 here in game number 2. Welcome back to Joe Spikes Field here in Lamesa. Nathan Riojas here with the Shallow Water Sports Network crew. Zach Cole producing, Mia Davidson running the camera. Mia out in the elements today. It was beautiful last night. It's pretty windy out there this afternoon for Mia. But our students doing a great job for us, as they always do. 8-9-1 due for Stanton here in the bottom of the 4th. This one popped up near the first base coach's box, and Natalie couldn't quite get there. This is Marissa Vasquez, the designated hitter. She reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd, came in to score. She was the first run on the board for Stanton. They got 2 more in the 3rd. Lead it 3-1. 1-1 count now for Marissa. Vasquez fouls that one off, and it's 1-2. Both of these pitchers have been pretty solid today, Davis and Rodriguez. Runs on the board, all helped out by some defensive miscues, and there's strikeout number 1 on the day for Emma Davis.
Number 14, Almaguer.
Alyssa Almaguer now at the plate. First baseman, she had an RBI double in that 2nd inning. to drive in the first run. She drove in Marissa Vasquez to get Stanton on the board in the second. She's ahead in the count here, 1-0. Two and 0 now. I don't know. I guess that one was low. It was right over the plate, but that one was on the turf for ball 3. That one elevated a 4-pitch walk for Emma Davis and Alyssa Almager at first base. Now the top of the order coming back to the plate, Paisley Carby. And now Cambry Baker and Emma Davis are going to switch spots. Emma just tired. She pitched 158, or threw 158 pitches last night. And just running out of gas here. It's still hot out there. It was really muggy when we got to Lamesa. The wind is helping a little bit. I feel like it's cooled it off some. It's about 10 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. Yesterday they got up to 91 here in Lamesa. I think it was 82 when we started. But Cambry Baker warming up now for the Fillies.
Now batting number 4, Carby.
Cambry Baker, Philly sophomore, in the circle now in a big moment. The top of the order coming to the plate. Paisley Carby, she lined one right back to Emma in the first and then grounded out to Cambry at short in the second. Here in the fourth, here's the stolen base attempt. And a stolen base for Alyssa Almagar. So now a runner in scoring position with one away, a 2-0 count for Paisley Carby. Strike one there as Cambry gonna try to get settled in. Not much of an adjustment period. You gotta come right in to crunch time. That one, it almost looked like the home plate umpire was distracted by the motion out on the left side of the infield, but it 3-1. Carby looks at ball 4, low and inside. So now runners on the corner, or runners at first and second for Zoe Aguirre, left fielder. She has reached on error both of her first 2 plate appearances. Came around to score in the third. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth, excuse me. And she lays down a bunt, well executed. Cambry doesn't have a play and the bases are loaded. A bunt single for Zoe Aguirre. Bases are loaded for the 3-hole hitter, Mariah Williams. Mariah grounded to third and grounded to short in her first 2, but a big opportunity here with 1 out. Stanton already has a 3-1 lead. Phillies have to minimize the damage here. Got a 2-0 count on Mariah Williams. Mariah was 1 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 2 to start game number 2, but a big opportunity to blow this game open here in the fourth. Alyssa Almagar came maybe at least a third of the way down the third base line there. Brindley chased her back, thought about unloading that. Williams fouls that one off for strike 2. Two and two on the outside corner, and a strikeout looking. Big out number 2. Hopefully some confidence there for Cambry Baker coming in a tough spot. Comes back to get the strikeout. Mariah Williams, Abby Campos, the cleanup hitter, pokes one into left field. The wind is pushing it foul, and it is just a foot or two foul. The wind may have done the Phillies a favor there. It was pushing that one. Of course, if it hadn't been foul, Gabby was there to make a play, but it was running away from Gabby. And it's strike number 1. Abby has walked and then tripled in her first 2 plate appearances. She came around to score run number 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. Now the bases loaded. That one was outside for ball 1. It's a good take because that one was close, but it does look like it was off the plate. Campos looks at that one low. So 2-1. Cambry looking for a ground ball right there. So Emma Davis got her first strikeout of the game for out number 1 in this inning. Cambry's got 1 for out number 2. But a 3-1 count, bases loaded for Abby Campos. Nowhere to put her. And that one is low and outside for ball 4, so everyone moves up. And Alyssa Almagar comes in for run number 4. Aubrey Villa coming to the plate. Aubrey was 0 for 4 yesterday. Grounded into a fielder's choice and then reached on error in her first 2 plate appearances today. Big opportunity for her with the bases loaded, and she's down in the count, 0-1. 4-1 though in favor of Stanton, and they could put up a crooked number here with a hit from Aubrey Villa. Would be huge for Cambry Baker and Shallowater if they could keep it from being a crooked number and just a 1 up on the scoreboard. It's a 1-1 right now, 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. This one lifted into center field. Jaden is under it, and she's got it for out number 3. So 1 run on 1 hit, and they leave them loaded here in the bottom of the 4th. Cambry Baker comes in relief and gets a couple of huge outs to keep it 4-1. We'll step away for just a moment, but we'll be back with the top of the 5th here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. Welcome back to Lamesa. Nathan Riojas, Zach Cole, and Mia Davidson, the Shallow Water Sports Network crew here in Lamesa for area round softball between Stanton and Shallow Water. This is game number 2. The Phillies won game 1 last night 7-4. They're trailing 4-1 here in game number 2. If Stanton wins game 2, we would play game number 3. I don't know, immediately following, 30 minutes after this one. It's supposed to be 7 o'clock tentatively, but I don't know if we'll be done with game number 1 in time for that to happen. Cambry Baker came in to get the last 2 outs of the 4th for the Phillies, and now the top of the 5th. will bring Gabby Caro. 9-1-2 due. She lays down a bunt to the left side. The throw is not in time. It gets up the right field line. Gabby's going to try to get to second. So a leadoff single for Gabby Caro, and something for the Fillies and their fans to get excited about. She reaches second on the throwing error. And now the top of the order, Brinley Currington coming to the plate. She's got a runner in scoring position. This one driven deep into left field. It's going to clear the scoreboard. It's gone. A two-run homer for Brinley Currington. And just like that, the Fillies, with their first crooked number of the afternoon, still nobody out in the top of the fifth inning. Brinley got all of that one. Take a look at this replay. There was no doubt about whether that was going to clear the fence. I just didn't know if it was going to clear the scoreboard or not, and it did. Gets into the trees beyond left field. So just like that, a two spot in the fifth, and it's 4-3. This one lifted in the air to the left side. It's behind third base. That one, a foul ball, just foul. Coach Rodriguez giving the umpire a hard time over there. There was a close call for Jaden down the line last night too. That one would have been extra bases for her last night, and she smoked it last night. This one was just a pop-up. The wind's pushing that one foul though, and it's an 0-1 count. So they've gotten to Liliana Rodriguez. Liliana faced 7 Philly batters in the first, but had a quick second inning, a quick third, and a quick fourth. Now here in the fifth. 2 hits, nobody out. Jaden puts that one in the air. It's a pop-up. It's trouble. It's coming back to the pitcher, and she drops it.
Now batting, number 8, Davis.
Second error of the inning. For Stanton, and now Emma Davis coming to the plate. Emma singled and walked in her first 2 trips to the plate. 0-1 count here, but a chance to help herself out. The Phillies have given her some run support. Of course, now Camry Baker in the circle. This one, she was ahead of that one and got in on the handle. She powered that one down the left field line. Two runs on 2 hits, 2 errors already for Stanton in this 5th inning too. Nobody out for Emma Davis, and Jaden Luna standing on first base. The 0-2 on the way, and that one up and out of the zone for ball 1. She was just going to see if Emma would chase, but Emma takes it. Probably stay out of the zone here too. Almost the same pitch. She brought it down a little closer to the zone, but still no chase for Emma, and it's 2-2. That one off speed, and she waits on it, drives it down the line. Jaden is rounding second. Coach Rodriguez sending her around third. No play at the plate. Emma, the ball got away there from the shortstop, who was cutting off that throw out near the Phillies dugout, but she'll stop at second. An RBI double for Emma Davis. And they have tied the game here. The Phillies have in the top of the 5th inning as Luna comes around from first. That was another off-speed pitch. She had gotten a foul ball from Emma for strike number 2 on that. And then it was 0-2. Or it was 0-2 after that foul ball. She looked at 2 balls up and away. She came back inside with that off-speed pitch, and Emma was ready for it. Just smoked it down the line. A 4 spot here for the Phillies in the 5th. And they have taken the lead. You know, a 3 spot here in the 4th. The scoreboard's messing me up. 1-3 put out there. But it does advance the runner. Emma gets to 3rd. She's there with 1 out. So Jordan Medina comes to the plate. She singled in her first at bat and grounded right back to the pitcher in her first. Looks like maybe another courtesy runner for Emma here at 3rd. So they have it 4-4 on the scoreboard out in left field, but they have a force, like they've cleared everything out in the first 4 innings. They just have a 4 in the bottom of the 5th already and a 4 in the top of the 5th. I don't know why they're doing that, but it threw me off. I went out there, I was like, they've scored 4. I looked down, like, no, they've just scored 3. It's 4-4. I don't know why they cleared out the first 4 innings on the scoreboard. Phillies got 1 in the first, 3 here now on 3 hits and 2 errors in the 5th inning. Still just 1 away. Jordan Medina a chance to give the Phillies the lead. So they've tied it. And Jordan could give the Phillies the lead if she can drive in a run. Almost, you really don't even need a base hit here to score a run. Danielle Lavelle is the courtesy runner at 3rd base for Emma. Jordan pops this one up in the air. Is he going to stay in play? No. Lands on top of the press box. I don't know if you could hear that on the crowd mic or not. But we might have had a play. Without the roof, we might have had a play on that one here. Oh, 1 pitch on the way from Rodriguez. This one driven right up the middle. Great play out in center field. But a tag there from Lavelle. No, I think Lavelle tagged. No, the umpire's saying she didn't tag. Oh, now we're going to have a discussion. Stanton thinks they have out number 3. He's calling it out. Lavelle took off. I think she was tagging. There's really no reason for her to leave early there because whether that's down or caught, there's no play. I don't know if anybody had a great look at that or not. I don't know if we have a replay either. So a strange play there. It looked like I was thinking she tagged up. There's no reason to run on that. If it's a hit, she scores. If it's caught, she scores. Either way, the center fielder's laying on the ground out in center field. But they're going to say that Lavelle did not tag up, and it's out number 3. Not much of an argument. Nothing to review here. So kind of a strange way to end that Philly rally. Kind of stings, controls the momentum. I don't know. Honestly, though, the way that Lavelle reacted when the catcher is pointing at 3rd base, like, hey, throw it to 3rd, throw it to 3rd. And she took off running to 3rd. I think maybe if she had sold the tag, maybe they would have given her credit for it. But so a tough call. Kayla Rodriguez argued a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I don't know. Maybe she did leave a little bit early.
Now batting number 6, Clover.
So either way, 3 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors. And now to the bottom of the 5th, we're tied 4-4 after that 3 spot from the Phillies. Camry Baker in the circle. She got the the last 2 outs of the 4th. Now here in the bottom of the 5th, Allie Glover, the third baseman at the plate. Allie has grounded out to short and flied out to left field. Her first 2 at-bats, the third baseman for Stanton. She was 1 for 3 last night, scored a run in game 1. Brand new ball game here. The last 2.5 innings or more, I guess. Here in game number 2, it's 1-1 to Glover now. That one catches the outside corner for strike number 2, 1-2 count. And Glover will walk a little ways down the line to talk to her third base coach. 1-2 on the way. That one was on the turf. All turf field here. I know we mentioned that last night. I don't know if I've said it today. All turf. Emma Davis told me she likes it. She said they feel like they can pitch harder off of the rubber versus off of a dirt mound. And right there, a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 on the day for the Phillies. That's strikeout number 2 for Cambry Baker, and a big first out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ari Vasquez now, Stanton shortstop, comes to the plate. That one low, maybe, based on the fan reaction. I think the umpire thought it was low for ball 1. That one up and out of the zone. So 2-0 to Ari Vasquez. She singled back in the 2nd inning and then grounded to Cambry at short in the 3rd. That one inside for ball 3. On the way, strike 1. Looked like Ari was taking all the way right there. So 3-1, 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. And she loses her. So Vasquez gets the walk, and now Marissa Vasquez, the DH, and the 8-hole hitter coming to the plate. She reached on fielder's choice in the 2nd, came around to score. She struck out for out number 1 in the bottom of the 4th. We sent 7 batters to the plate in the 4th inning. Stanton did. Marissa is ahead in the count here, 1-0. This one poked into right field. That's going to fall in front of Desire. Desire gets to it, but plenty of time for Ari Vasquez to get to second base. She was holding at first, but little bloop single out into right field, and now 2 on, a runner in scoring position for the 9-hole hitter, Alyssa Almagar. She doubled and drove in a run in the 2nd, walked and came in to score in the 4th. Strike number 1 there. Cambry gets one by her there to make it 0-2. This one popped up. It's going to get over the screen and into the stands on the right side. So another 0-2 pitch on the way. This will be Cambry's first full inning of work. She got the last 2 outs of the 4th inning after a 4-pitch walk from Emma. She looked in the dugout and said something like, "Yep, I'm out." And Coach Rodriguez made the switch. This one driven into left field. It's a long run for Jaden. Jaden Luna. I shortened her name there, but she couldn't get to that. Our outfielders are playing really deep, and that one falls in front for another single. So back-to-back singles here. Nothing really hard hit, but the bases loaded now for the top of the order, and Paisley Carby, who made that nice catch out in center field, and then the throw into third base to get that get that double play. Second and third outs there in the top of the fifth. So it's a 2-0 count now. Bases loaded, just one out. She's 0 for 2. She walked in her last plate appearance, but looked at ball 3 high here. So 3-0 count. They've walked in a run. The Phillies have already walked one in the fourth. Trying to avoid that here, make Carby put it in play. That one was in the dirt. Pretty good stab by Brindley Currington. So a bases loaded walk. Will give Stanton the lead again. Zoe Aguirre now comes to the plate. She laid down a bunt single in the fourth inning for her first hit. She reached on error in her previous 2 at-bats. She comes to the plate with the bases juiced. Scouting report says bunt. You can tell by the way the infield is playing. They're all creeping in. Might try to cut that run off at the plate. It's 5-4 now as Stanton has broken the tie. They've gotten one already here. And now a 2-1 count after ball 2 right there. Cambry had evened the count, but now it's 2-1. Zoe looks at strike 2. So 2-2 now. 1 away here in the bottom of the fifth. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Cambry, and 2 away. Bases still loaded, but a big strikeout for Cambry Baker, and now Mariah Williams, the second baseman and the 3-hole hitter, coming up to the plate.
Now that's number 18, Moore.
Or no, we have a pinch hitter. Number 18, let me see. Now I got to pull the roster out. Gonna make me work here a little bit. Number 18, that's Peyton Moore. So 0 for 3 night with a strikeout from Mariah Williams at second base. Peyton Moore now pinch hitting with the bases loaded. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. Cambry again trying to minimize the damage. Stanton got one, but left him loaded in the fourth. 2 outs now here. Cambry and the Phillies would love to leave him loaded again in the fifth, and there's strike number 2 for Peyton Moore. The 1-2 on the way, low and outside for ball 2. She was trying to get her to chase. Emma Davis. Some encouragement from shortstop. 2-2 now on the way. It was on the turf, so she laid off of it. She thought about it. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the bases loaded here in the bottom of the fifth. Big moment. It's ball 4 in the dirt. So 2 runs across now. And now Abby Campos, the catcher, coming up to the plate. She walked, tripled, and scored in the 3rd, and then walked again in the 4th. She's got the bases loaded with 2 outs. This one hitting the center field. Jaden Luna's under it. This time they get 2 runs on 2 hits, but they leave them loaded again. It's 6-4 though now in favor of Stanton as we head to the 6th inning. Take a look at that. That was well hit, but just right at Jaden. Outfield playing deep. She catches that one pretty deep out in center field for out number 3. Minimal damage, but a 2-run lead. We'll be back right after this here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. Welcome back to Lamesa. 2 more strikeouts for Camry Baker there in the bottom of the 5th, but 2 runs on just 2 hits. They left him loaded, Stanton did, there in the bottom of the 5th, but they do plate 2, so it's 6-4 as we head to the 6th inning. Camry Baker will be in the box for the Phillies. 6, 7, 8 due for Shallow Water here to start the 6th inning. Liliana Rodriguez pitched a full 6 innings in game 1. Still in the circle for Stanton. She's got 7 strikeouts today after 6 last night. Camry chases one. Up and out of the zone there for strike 1. Camry puts a bunt down. Gonna try to run it out. And another error, this one at first base. Leadoff hitter on, and Camry's got speed. We saw a stolen base from her in game number 1. Wouldn't be surprised to see her running here. Just putting some pressure on the defense. Not a bad throw, just popped out of the glove at first base. And now Baker on for Kaylee Olivo. Kaylee shows bunt 2, but then that takes that ball 1. Camry is in easy at first base. Camry is quick. Second stolen base of this series. First one today. Now a runner in scoring position for Kaylee Olivo. Kaylee went down and got that one. That was low and inside, and she reached down and fouled it off. This one off the handle, but trouble for Rodriguez in the circle, and she throws it over first base. Cambry's going to try to score. She will. So Olivo and Baker both reach on error. Cambry steals second base, and that's huge because she comes around the throwing error. So 2 errors in this inning. For Stanton, nobody out. And already a run across. The Phillies get one back here in the top of the 6th. Desire Johnson about to step into the box for the Phillies. Dez struck out and popped out in her first 2 at-bats so far today. She was 1 for 3 yesterday, so she's due. If the averages mean anything in this sport, right? That means Dez is due for a big RBI right here. 5-6 in the top of the sixth. It's game number 2 between Stanton and Shallow Water. Fillies trying to punch their ticket to the regional quarterfinals. Dez lines that one into right field. Kaylee's got a stop at third base, but Dez keeps the line moving. She hit that one hard into right field. Really didn't give Kaylee a chance to score, but runners on the corners now for Gabby Caro. And that is Michelle Harper on to run for Desire, but Desire, big hit. So Harper at first base now. And Gabby Caro, she was 1 for 2 yesterday, walked and scored 2 runs. An RBI opportunity here, still nobody out, top of the sixth. Phillies have gotten one back. They started this inning down 2. They played in 1. 1 run on 1 hit and 2 errors so far. Phillies have taken advantage. Gabby shows bunt. She puts it down to third base. She's out, but Kaylee Olivo is safe at home. So a successful sacrifice bunt ties the game and sends Harper to second base. So 1 away here, but Olivo comes in to score. As you look, nice play from the first baseman really to get this in. Kaylee just gets in under that tag. It's just a step too late to get Kaylee. Kaylee did a good job of waiting. And then as soon as that ball was thrown, she made her way to home plate. We are tied at 6 here in the top of the sixth. Billy's trying to fight back. Like I said, they win game 2 here. They punch their ticket to the regional quarterfinal. Stanton trying to extend this series and force a game 3 right after this. Brindley now at the plate. Currington, the leadoff hitter for the Phillies, has a 1-1 count. Harper at second base. She's courtesy running for Dez. Brindley looks at ball 2. So it's 2-1. That was high and outside. So Philly's got 1 run in the first and then 3 in the 5th. Already 2 here in the 6th. There's strike number 2 to even the count. This one hit sharply up the middle, and it hit Harper. It hit Michelle Harper as she was coming around the bases. So tough break for the Phillies. Tough break. So a single for Brindley Currington, but no chance at an RBI. No guarantee at that RBI because we saw the arm out in center field yesterday. This one popped up to the shortstop for out number 3. But the Phillies get 2 runs on a hit and 2 errors. They leave 1 on base. And it's 6-6 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. We'll step away, but we'll be right back with more Phillies softball here on the Shallow Water Sports Network. are back here at Joe Spikes Field in Lamesa, and it's starting to get tense. 6-6 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. Phillies get two to tie it up there in the top half of the inning. And now Aubrey Villa, the 5-hole hitter, leading off. The bottom of the sixth for Stanton. Phillies got two in the top of the sixth to tie it. Cambry Baker trying to keep the Phillies in this game. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon for Cambry. She came in relief of Emma Davis in the 4th inning. An inning and 2/3 so far. She faced 7 though in the 5th. That one a hit through the left side. And a leadoff single for Aubrey Villa.
Now batting number 6, Glover.
So Allie Glover at the plate now. She drives this one into center field. Luna going back. She looks at it as it goes over the fence. A 2-run homer. And now right back out in front, Stanton with that home run. 2-run bomb from Allie Glover. Eight to 6 now. And Ari Vasquez will come to the plate. She walked and scored in the 5th. She comes up now with a 2-run lead. And now Stanton just 3 outs away from forcing a game 3 here in Lamesa tonight. Swing and a miss there from Ari Vasquez. Phillies have put up crooked numbers in the last 2 innings though, so if they can get out of here 8 to 6, 3 outs to work with. 3, 4, 5 due up for the Phillies in the top of the 7th. They need to minimize the damage. It's a 1-1 count here on Vasquez. That one catches the top half of the zone to make it 2-2. That one outside for ball 3. Ari singled back in the 2nd. Walked in her last plate appearance, came in to score, and she looks at that one for ball 4. She walks.
Now batting number 24, Marissa Vasquez.
So now Marissa Vasquez, the 8-hole hitter and designated hitter for this Stanton team. She has scored twice. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd, came around to score. Singled in the 5th. Came around to score, then she struck out in the 4th. This is Emma Davis's only strikeout of the day. 4 for the Phillies on the day, 3 for Cambry Baker. That's a ball there. That one outside for ball 2. This one popped up into shallow right field, and then the wind just knocks it down. Kaylee was running back. You could tell she's mad. She took a few steps back to go get that, and the wind just pushed it back into the infield. Nobody touched it, so infield single on the pop-up. Third hit of the inning. And that one elevated for ball one. Runners on first and second. Stanton has already plated 2 here in the 6th. Got their 2 back. That one gets away from Brindley. That might be an instance. I was talking earlier about how Emma said she likes the turf. That one, the turf might have cost the Phillies there. That one took a big bounce on Brindley. So now 2 in scoring position. And there's a bunt. Cambry is just going to hold the runner and concede first base. So she looked over at third and then never looked back at first. Of course, she may not have had much of a play. So the bases loaded for the top of the order again for Stanton. They've left the bases loaded twice. They got 1 run in the 4th, but left them loaded. Got 2 in the 5th and left them loaded. They're loaded here with no outs. And Kaylee went for the tag. The ball was knocked out of her glove. And 2 come in to score there. They do get an out as I'm not sure what happened there.
Now batting number 5, Akiri.
Wait, who just got tagged out? They slid in safe at first, and now there's some. That's really weird. 1 away. I'm not sure what all happened there, but they get 2 more, so now 4 in the inning. Both the Vasquez girls scored. Almagar was safe. At second base after, I guess they were going to say she was out, that the ball was knocked out of the glove, and now a bunt. For out number 2.
Now batting number 3, Williams.
And now Mariah Williams back at the plate, the 3-hole hitter. So I guess they called an out, as what we're seeing. Presley Carby laid down the bunt. She reached on fielder's choice. They called Almagar out at second base. And then Carby was the second out right there on that fielder's choice. Zoe Aguirre at first base, or at second now. And Mariah Williams at the plate. I put my head down like that play was over. This one poked into right field, another hit. This one for Williams, and it will create a play at the plate. Brindley throws it down. Big turn. Coming around third.
Now batting number 2, Campos.
Williams will advance to second on pitcher's indifference, 1-0. Or defensive indifference. 2-0 now for Abby Campos. She's the 9th batter to come to the plate here in the 6th inning. They've stretched it out with 4 already. It's a 10-6 game. This one lifted into left center field. The wind's going to help it find the gap. It goes off the base of the fence. And it'll be 3 bases, it looks like. A stand-up triple for Abby Campos.
Now batting number 7,
6 runs across now here in the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 count now for Aubrey Villa, who started this 6th inning for Stanton. She singled, and then she came in on that home run. She drives this one into right field. It'll drop in for a hit. Another single and another RBI.
Now batting number 6, Glover.
And now Allie Glover, or Glover, excuse me. They're saying Glover next door. I'm pretty sure it's Glover. The third baseman looks at ball 2. So a 7 spot in the 6th, and it's gotten away from the Fillies. Another hit through the left side by a diving Jordan Medina. Everybody getting in on the act. Ari Vasquez, the 11th batter for Stanton to come to the plate here in the 6th. 7 runs on 7 hits now in this 6th inning, and this one popped up into center field for Luna, and she drops it. So she'll reach on error, and another run comes in to score.
Now batting number 24, Marissa Vasquez.
This one poked into right field. Kaylee going back, and she's got it for out number 3. But 8 runs across on 7 hits. 1 error, 2 left on. It's 14-6 now as we head to the 7th inning. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back here with more Philly softball on the Shallow Sports Network. And welcome back to Lamesa. Quick break. No ads or commercials here in the postseason per UIL rules, but we're just glad to be able to bring you these games in the postseason. So no ads, really no need to leave you at an extended commercial break. Just a chance for me to write some stuff down in the book and take a drink of water. Right now, Emma Davis coming to the plate. 3-4-5 due for the Fillies in the top of the 7th, but 14-6 in favor of Stanton after an 8 spot there in the bottom of the 6th. So now just 3 outs away from forcing game 3. Emma swings at the first pitch, pops it up near shortstop, and the wind carries it all the way like into shallow left field, pushed it away from the shortstop. So Emma didn't touch the glove, so we'll say a single, a pop single. We gave Stanton credit for one earlier. So single there, wind helping out now as Phoenix Navajara steps up to the plate. Phillies trailing 14-6. That's the bad news. The good news is they won game 1 7-4 last night, so they'll have the luxury at least of a game 3. Stanton staying alive. If they can get 3 more outs, they've all but forced game 3 here tonight. Scheduled tentatively for 7 o'clock, but we're 4 minutes away from 7, so don't think game 3 will start at 7 o'clock. Looks like that'll be closer to 7:30. Not sure how much of a break we'll take in between. We were worried about weather coming down here tonight and whether that would interfere, either push back the start time or cause an in-game delay. It's stirred up some wind for us, but really the sun's shining now, the sun's setting and becoming an issue like it was about this time last night when we started game number 1. You see the first baseman covering her eyes, shielding her eyes. She's not wearing it. Nobody wearing a visor for this Stanton team. First baseman could probably use one right now. She's got her hand up, looking in for the pitch. That 2-2 was fouled away by Phoenix. Phoenix is 1 for 3 on the day. She's 0-2 actually. She walked, struck out, and then grounded out. She's working on another walk here with a full count. Phillies trail by 8, but the leadoff runner on in Emma Davis, and crazy things can happen in high school sports. Liliana Rodriguez has pitched. She pitched all 6 innings last night for Stanton and has pitched the first 6 here. 6 1/3 now as she gets the strikeout. She's throwing a lot of pitches. If anything, the Phillies maybe if they could just tire her out a little bit more so they can face somebody else in game number 3. Jordan Medina comes to the plate with 1 away. Emma gets by, or gets the second on the pass ball. One an 0 count for Medina, who singled back in the first. It's grounded out and flied out since then. She fouls that one up the left field line. Stanton just poured it on. Kind of a quicksand situation there for the Phillies in the bottom of the 6th, as Shane Falco might call it. Just problems compounding, and the hits kept coming for Stanton. Another one gets away from the catcher. Wild pitch, pass ball. One of the two. Either way, Emma's at third now with 1 out. It's a 2-1 count for Jordan. Jordan just trying to keep the line moving right now. Takes ball 3. That one was elevated. So I was talking about the weather. I mean, the sun's out, so it looks like that may not be an issue for game number 3. I don't know what the weather ended up doing back home. I know Jake and the boys saw some weather near Plainview on the way home. They sent us pictures of what they were looking at. We were looking at a pretty gnarly storm east of Lamesa near Snyder and Sweetwater on the way up here, but I think it's cleared out of the area, it looks like. Full count and a walk for Jordan Medina. So runners on the corners for Cambry Baker, and Cambry maybe just trying to get herself going here offensively for game number 3. She reached on error and came around to score in that 2-run 6th. Swings at 1, up and in there for strike 1. Looks at strike number 2. So 0-2 coming here from Rodriguez to Baker. Swing and a miss, and she took something off of that one. Strikeouts number 8 and number 9 here in the 7th inning, and the Phillies down to their last out here in game number 2. Kaylee Olivo at the plate. She reached on air and came around to score in that 6th inning. She tied it, getting in under the tag after the bunt from Gabby Caro. Swings over the top of that one for strike 1 to even the count. 1-1 now. That one elevated, and she swings at that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Stanton just an out away from forcing game number 3. The Fillies aren't going to go quietly. That one driven to the center field wall. It's an RBI, 2 RBI double for Kaylee Olivo, and something for the Fillies to build on.
Now batting, number 17, Johnson.
14-8. And now Desire Johnson stepping to the plate. She singled as part of that rally there in the 6th. That one elevated from Rodriguez, 2-0. Another 2-out RBI, or RBIs, I guess you should say, and that one down the left field line, but it's foul. That was just a little bit too far out in front of that one. It looked good off the bat. I thought that was another base hit. A 2 RBI double for Kaylee Olivo. Another 2-out hit, 2 more 2-out RBIs for the Fillies. That was big for them in game 1. 3-1 now to Desire. Liliana Rodriguez trying to finish this game. She pitched all 6 innings for Stanton last night. 6 2/3 now here in game number 2. And there's a walk to put runners on the corners.
Now batting, number 1, Caro.
Gabby Caro comes to the plate. Laid down a successful sacrifice earlier in that 2-run 6 to tie the game. At that point, it was 6-6. After she laid down that bunt, she's ahead in the count, 1-0. Swings over the top of that one. This one well hit, fair ball over the third base bag. Olivo comes in to score. Johnson at third, and a stand-up double for Gabby Caro.
Now batting, number 2, Turlington.
So Dez goes first to third. Gabby standing at second. Brindley Currington will come to the plate with 2 away. 3 spot now for the Fillies here in the 7th, and they've made it 14-9. Little meeting in the circle for Stanton. Players only. Liliana Rodriguez trying to finish this one out. She threw 180 pitches in game 1 last night. Don't know what her pitch count is here, but 6 2/3 so far here tonight in game 2. Currington the 8th batter to come to the plate for the Fillies here in the 7th. She's ahead in the count, 1-0. That one's elevated. So 2-0 for Currington. Currington hit a 2-run homer in the 5th. Crushed one over the scoreboard. She gets that one off the end of the bat, and the shortstop just able to grab it. Ari Vasquez looked like Brindley was going to drop that into left field for a hit. But instead, the pop out, and we will play game number 3 here in this area round between Stanton and Shallowater. It was originally scheduled to be about 7 o'clock, but it's already after 7 now, so I don't know how long the break will be between game number 2 and game number 3, but we will play game number 3 here in Lamesa tonight. I think the good news is that it looks like the weather is going to cooperate, so the Fillies get one in the first to take a 1-0 lead. Stanton got it back in the second, tied it at 1. Stanton took the lead. They got 2 in the third to make it 3-1. We've actually got, let's see. Either way, they get an 8th spot. So it was a great game. It was tied at 6, going to the bottom of the 6th. And they get 8 runs, Stanton does, on 7 hits and an error. You see the coin flip is taking place. Coin flip taking place right there. And Kayla Rodriguez, I believe, just said we're home based on the way the coaches reacted. So Kayla Rodriguez wins the flip for game number 3. Phillies will be the home team again as they were in game number 1. We will take a break here on the Shallowater Sports Network. We will end this broadcast. No post-game interviews right now. Hopefully we can bring you those after game 3. But we will end this broadcast, and we'll be back in 30 or 40 minutes or so with game number 3 between Stanton and Shallowater. Winner punching their ticket to the regional quarterfinals. So long from Lamesa. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.